This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
Overall, this was a big win for the abortion rights proponents.
A Kansas City area judge blocks most of Missouri's near total abortion ban weeks after voters passed a statewide constitutional amendment. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. Hours ago, the judge's ruling on Amendment 3 was issued. New tonight, we have reaction from groups on both sides of the issue. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend is in the newsroom with what we know. Robert.
Kelly, the Jackson County judge's decision is spelled out in a 22-page ruling. Now, tonight we have reaction from abortion rights supporters, opponents, and a local professor who's followed this controversial debate for decades. The big news immediately made headlines Friday afternoon. Jackson County Circuit Judge Jerry Zhang ruled Missouri's near total abortion ban is unenforceable. The judge's ruling essentially blocks the state's strict abortion law after a new abortion rights constitutional amendment recently passed.
Overall, this was a big win for the abortion rights proponents.
St. Louis University School of Law professor Jamil Fields Alsbrook.
We know it's a very personal, very intimate decision.
Voters passed Amendment 3 last month, restoring abortion rights in the state. It went into effect but did not override state law. Planned Parenthood filed a lawsuit asking a judge to remove the bans and restrictions. Judge Zhang agreed to almost all of them. The order also lifts a 72-hour waiting period between a patient's initial visit and their abortion procedure. It also gets rid of punishments for doctors who perform abortions. Still, Alexis McGill Johnson, the president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, said the judge issued a mixed decision that leaves in place numerous abortion restrictions. She also said, quote, "It is disappointing that 2 weeks after Amendment 3 took effect, Missourians are still unable to exercise their right to reproductive freedom." Brian Westbrook, the executive director of the group Coalition Life, said in part, "We are gratified that the court has rightly decided to retain licensing requirements for abortion facilities and doctors who perform abortions, even while we mourn the loss of protections that are vital to the safety of women and the protection of preborn children." The abortion battle, clearly far from over.
Whoever loses is going to be appealing, and we probably will be talking about this for months, if not years.
Now, the judge set another hearing on all this for late February. You can read the full ruling on KSDK.com in the As Seen on TV section.
Today, Judge Brian May ruled that Governor Mike Parson has the exclusive power to decide who's replacing Wesley Bell as St. Louis County prosecutor. Governor Parson announced Melissa Price Smith was his pick to replace Wesley Bell last week. That was after County Executive Sam Page announced Court Van Osteren as his pick. This led to a legal battle that Page lost. The court order also bars Page from, quote, taking any further steps to fill the anticipated vacancy. Governor Parson granted 16 new pardons and approved 9 sentence reductions. The list rounded out the last clemency petitions of his administration. The office now has 0 pending clemency requests. One of the sentence reductions is Paige Spears. You may remember he was convicted of robbing a Ferguson liquor store in 1988. He received a life sentence which at that time was 40 years, but due to a clerical error, Spears got more than 1,000 years. We've reached out to the governor's office for more information. Federal agents are intensifying their investigation into the St. Louis Building Division. We told you first Tuesday night about the city inspector pressuring daycare centers for charitable contributions. Tonight, we can link that fundraising effort to the wife of the former Building Division director. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has the latest developments.
The last time we spoke with former Building Division Director Frank Oswald,
we are not going to take any action against them,
was at Bar PM right before he retired. Around the time we started looking into claims from daycare owners.
Do you remember that conversation we had?
Uh-huh.
I asked you about one of your inspectors who had been going to these daycare centers seeking charitable contributions. We're now in receipt of emails from Karen to Dan asking him to go to these daycares to seek contributions. Did you know about this?
I did not know.
Would that be appropriate for someone carrying the city badge to go ask for contributions during an inspection?
Not during inspection times, no.
And did your inspectors know from you that that would be a violation?
Certainly, yes. That's part of the violation of the rules of ethics. You're not supposed to do anything on city time.
Can you write a check? Like one lady wrote me a $2,000 check.
Former building inspector Dan Copeland resigned Wednesday and said, "I didn't do anything wrong." Copeland said he was asked to ask the daycares if they would donate.
But I get a lot of daycares that give. Oh my God. I had a lady write me a check yesterday for over $500.
Emails show his boss's wife, Karen Carter, who worked at the Special Education Foundation, sent Copeland a list of daycare centers to solicit for charitable contributions. Copeland said he would collect those envelopes and give them directly to Oswald.
Some of the daycare owners tell me that they had raised these concerns to you and that their concerns fell on deaf ears. What happened internally? Were you aware of their complaints?
When I was made aware of it, Dan was taken off the daycare. He has not, from the best of my knowledge, Dan has not done another daycare since then.
Have you seen the video since that we aired on the news?
Just on the news, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's disturbing.
Did you ever alert anybody higher than you in the mayor's office about any of this?
I probably told the director at the time.
And that director would have been former Director of Public Safety, Dan Isom. A spokesman for Mayor Jones says, quote, unequivocally, Frank Oswald never told Dan Isom the reason that Dan Copeland was being reassigned. Copeland has now sought the help of an attorney. No one involved has been charged with any crimes at this time, but the FBI is interviewing daycare owners and city workers. Right now, the Senate is moving towards a final vote on a bill that would prevent a government shutdown. We are just a few hours away from the deadline to pass the American Relief Act of 2025. It would fund the government through March of next year. The House voted 366 to 34 in favor of that bill just a few hours ago. This version of the bill continues to fund the government at current levels with an extra $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion in assistance for farmers.
We're grateful that everyone stood together to do the right thing.
House Democrats have successfully funded the government at levels requested by President Biden.
The White House released a statement saying President Biden supports moving legislation forward and is ready to quickly sign the bill. And just before 10, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said both parties are coming to an agreement and the bill should be passed before the midnight deadline. Experts are warning of a rise in scam texts and phone calls in Missouri targeting people looking for health insurance. They say scammers use texts like these to try and sell plans that aren't in your best interest. Sometimes they'll sweeten the deal with offers like free groceries or gift cards before trying to steal information like your social security number and selling it. Experts say if you need help getting insurance, there are certified navigators that will work for free to help you find the right plan.
We ask that you bring all your information in. That way we can go over the plans with you. We never tell you what plan you need to sign up for. If you have questions about deductibles, premiums, we go over all of that.
And we have a list of services available in the St. Louis area. Just go to the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Remembering a fallen officer, how Michael Langsdorf's legacy is helping a new generation of first responders.
The cold air surged in late last night and through this morning. The winds have died down, but the cold's here at least for another 24 to 36 hours. What comes after that as we head towards Christmas? We're tracking next.
Tonight, the St. Louis Hero Network awarded its annual scholarship in honor of fallen officer Michael Langsdorf. The award honors the North County officer who died in the line of duty during a call in 2019. Now, his memory is helping others get the financial support they need to pursue training and a career as a first responder. This year's recipient, Courtney Harris, is a former Arnold police officer who just graduated from the St. Charles County Ambulance District's paramedic program.
I'll be able to say that I went to paramedic school because of the Langsdorfs. I get to keep Michael's name alive, and I'll spread it as much as I can because it's brought me so much greatness in my life, and being able to base my career off the Langsdorfs it's very great.
The scholarship will cover all of the costs of her paramedic coursework. Let's check in with Scott. Is this going to be a cold one tonight, yes?
You know, temperatures have held about steady. The problem is they are cold. It right now remains around 30 degrees in the metro area, 31 in St. Louis. We've been right around freezing all day long. It feels better right now because we don't have the gusty winds like we did have for much of the day, especially this morning. There's a look into the Chesterfield Valley tonight. You know, we've had a lot of traffic around the St. Louis area. We have good news through the entire weekend. It remains dry around St. Louis. But what's next? Well, I have a couple of these cold nights ahead. Down into the 20s tonight, again tomorrow night, but it's dry until later Monday. And then, get this, mild weather all next week. Yes, temperatures will be well above average as we head through much of next week, even to the end of the week. 39 was our high. That was right after midnight. 31's been the low so far. Feels like 23 right now with that light northerly breeze at 8 miles per hour. We're taking it down into the mid to upper 20s for lows tonight. We still have some clouds around, and you know, we'll flirt with them. They'll be in and out. Tomorrow looks like a brighter day overall. It becomes mostly sunny. We're back in the mid to upper 30s, but we don't have the wind around tomorrow. As we look across the region, if you're traveling anywhere across the bi-state region or within an easy day's drive of St. Louis, tomorrow looks like it's going to be just fine. As we go into Sunday, it's even better. We start to turn the winds more out of the south. You see what that does out to our west, pushing temperatures into the 50s, Tulsa, Wichita, into Springfield, close to it, Kansas City. We're still in the 40s. Monday, the rain chances start to increase, especially to the southeast of St. Louis. But all of this is light and no snow within an easy day's drive. You got to get up into parts of Michigan before you get a little bit of snow. Then on Tuesday, everybody's dealing with warmer air, and the most likely area to see a steadier, heavier rain is south and east of St. Louis. That could impact you if your Christmas Eve travel plans take you down towards Memphis or maybe Cape Girardeau or heading down towards Little Rock. Here's your forecast here as we head through the next 7 days. Wow, look at the temperature trend here. 38 for the high tomorrow. 3:20 tomorrow morning is the winter solstice. We're up to 46 here on Sunday. Back into the 50s for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday. Yes, temperatures well above average. Hanukkah begins at sundown on the 25th, Christmas night. Kwanzaa begins on the 26th. Can you believe it could be close to 60 degrees by the end of the week?
No.
And Kelly,
I can't.
once we get above freezing on Sunday morning, we may not go back below freezing until sometime in January.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Scotty. Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 10. Your local weather and news is always available on 5+. Now here's Corey Miller and Annie Crawl with 5 on your sideline.